Welcome to the Who We Were podcast. History is not just what happened, it's who lived it. These are their stories.
Some histories begin with a battle. This one begins with a telephone ringing in Savannah. A woman reaches for the receiver. She is very hard of hearing, so she leans in, listening with her whole face. Her friends call her Daisy. She is 51, and she is about to gamble her name, her money, and her remaining strength on an idea that sounds, at first, almost too simple. Give girls room to grow. She tells her cousin to come over, right now. Bring girls. There is something she wants them to try tonight. But if we stop the story there, we miss the point. Daisy did not appear out of nowhere. She was shaped by a particular place, a particular century, and a particular set of losses. She is born in Savannah on October 31st, 1860, with the country already cracking toward war. Her family's home sits close enough to the city's public squares that you can imagine the sound of footsteps and carriage wheels drifting in through an open window. Her parents call her Juliette, but the nickname Daisy sticks. It fits her, not in the fragile sense, but in the stubborn one, the kind of living thing that pushes up through hard ground. Growing up, she learns early that life is not guaranteed. The Civil War reaches into the household, and like many families, hers lives through shortages and worry. She is too young to fight, but old enough to absorb the tension and the way adults lower their voices when children enter a room. And then, in 1876, when Daisy is 15, Savannah faces yellow fever. Picture the breakfast table, the morning light, a family debating whether to stay or leave. Everyone talks about staying together, no matter what. Daisy speaks up, clear and practical. She says, in effect, I want to live with my family, anywhere, but I do not want to die with my family here. Her education carries her out of the city and back again. She is sent away to boarding schools and later to a French finishing school in New York City. We can still hear her voice in letters home, affectionate, homesick, sometimes funny, full of small details. She is not, by the accounts of people around her, typical. She loves animals, she loves the outdoors, and she keeps an athletic streak that does not always match what polite society expects. Adulthood arrives with private troubles. In 1880, her younger sister, Sarah Alice, dies at only 17. The loss settles over the family like thick cloth. Daisy mourns, and she also takes on responsibility, stepping into a caretaker role when her mother's grief is overwhelming. Meanwhile, Daisy's own body becomes a battleground. As a young woman, she suffers chronic ear infections. In 1885, an experimental treatment with silver nitrate leaves her hearing greatly impaired. A year later, at her wedding in 1886, a piece of rice lodges in her ear. The attempt to remove it punctures the eardrum, worsening the loss. Hearing loss is not romantic. It is exhausting. It isolates. Daisy adapts anyway. On December 21st, 1886, she marries William Mackay Lowe, an Englishman with money and social standing. She crosses the ocean into a world of dinners, country houses, and elaborate expectations. From the outside, it is glittering. From the inside, it is unstable. Over the years, the marriage grows unhappy. They spend long stretches apart. By 1902, William leaves Daisy for another woman. Divorce proceedings begin, slow and humiliating. Then, in 1905, he dies suddenly before the divorce is finalized. Now Daisy is a widow with no children and a fight waiting for her. William's will leaves most of his estate to his mistress. Daisy contests the will and she wins a significant settlement, including property in Georgia. That win changes Daisy's options. Money cannot heal grief or restore hearing, but it can buy freedom, time, and the ability to choose your work. By 1911, Daisy is ready for a new chapter. In London, she meets Sir Robert Baden-Powell, the founder of the Boy Scouts, and she is drawn to the energy of the new movement for youth. Soon, he asks her to help with the Girl Guides in Britain. Daisy writes to her father that she likes the girls, she likes the organization, and if she becomes deeply interested, he should not be surprised. That summer, in Glenlyon, Scotland, she gathers local girls and holds weekly meetings. The girls learn the guide laws, yes, but also learn practical skills, knots, maps, hygiene, and ways to help other people. Daisy is not inventing girlhood from scratch, she is giving it tools and giving it permission. Now we return to that telephone in Savannah. March 12, 1912. Daisy registers 18 girls into the 1st American troop, at first called Girl Guides. She leaves the troop in capable hands and starts traveling, telling friends and strangers about an organization that expects girls to do more than sit still and stay decorative. Within a year, by 1913, the U.S. group officially adopts the name Girl Scouts. You may know that headline. Here is what often gets lost beneath it. Daisy's work was not only about founding something new, it was about insisting on a broader definition of what a girl could be. Outdoors, service, self-reliance, community, and leadership. These were not fashionable words for girls in 1912. Daisy pushed them anyway, and she did it with a mix of charm and steel. She also understood, with a strategist's caution, that movements can be destroyed by the wrong fight at the wrong time. The women's suffrage movement is surging during these years. People ask Daisy and other leaders where the organization stands. Daisy does not publicly join the battle. In letters, she argues for neutrality. Keep the group out of controversy so it can survive and serve. Then the world tips into war. In Europe, World War I begins in 1914. Daisy and her sister Mabel, living in England, assist relief efforts connected to Belgium. Daisy writes to Mabel in early August 1914 that war seems inevitable. She travels despite U-boat threats, moving between England and the United States, volunteering in the war effort while keeping Girl Scouting alive. By 1920, Daisy steps down as president and takes on the title Founder. Leadership passes to a new generation, including her goddaughter, Anne Hyde Choate, and a national board. Daisy represents the organization internationally, leaning into something she has believed for years: girls should see themselves as part of a wider world. In 1923, Daisy develops cancer, and she keeps it mostly hidden. She continues working. In May 1926, less than a year before her death, Daisy attends and helps host an international gathering at Camp Edith Macy in New York, the first United States International World Camp, and the last major Girl Scout gathering she attends. On January 17, 1927, Daisy dies at her home in Savannah. She is buried in her Girl Scout uniform. By then, the movement that began with 18 girls has grown to 168,000 members. And that brings us back to the telephone. Not just the ring, but the decision that followed it. The decision to pick up, to call someone in, to start something anyway, even when life has already taken so much. Daisy once wrote, "The work of today is the history of tomorrow, and we are its makers." Her life is a reminder that history is not only made in big public moments, it is made in rooms like that one, with a ringing phone and a choice to begin.